albums, it is called The Metal Voice. And what The Metal Voice is, it's these two guys, Alan and Jimmy. And what they basically do is they review classic and new metal albums from the classic metal genre. And I think the way that they actually talk about the albums they're reviewing, they just do it so well. They just mention some of the history of the band, then they just mention all this other stuff that really does well for the album review. I like a lot of their album reviews, of course. I like their Anvil Juggernaut of Justice review, their Ronnie James Dio 1 year anniversary review, Accepts Blood of the Nations. I hope you guys go check out The Metal Voice.
Welcome to another episode of The Metal Voice, where Jim and I every week sit here and talk about new happenings and trying to inform you and give you our opinions on certain things in the metal community.
We're like the Yodas of the metal world. We pass our wisdom to
I feel like Yoda this morning.
Yeah, actually. I feel like Yoda, yeah. Old.
So now we're going to get into some new releases from a new band called Bloodbound. Newish, one of the newer bands. They've been around since 2006, coming out of Sweden. First two albums, Book of the Nosferatu and Book of the Dead. Real rockers, were well received by their fans. Third album, Tabula Rasa, not so much.
Tabula Rasa.
It's good. I think it's a good album. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Just some of the guitar solos. They were trying something new, and I think they turned off some of their older fans. And the guitar solo is one of the things that I didn't really like of this. But then their new release, Bloodbound Unholy Cross. Jim, you can see it. It's funny because it's written right here. Returns to its roots, so that's a lot of their fans are going to love this a little bit more than this one. But also a must-have for all fans of Hammerfall, Sabaton, Halloween, and Iron Maiden.
Well, doesn't it say also and a must for all Metal Voice fans?
Metal Voice.
That's it.
But you can see, Jim, why it says that, because each song you can hear those influence. Like Reflections of Evil, you can hear the Halloween influence. The Ones We Left Behind, a little bit like Sabaton. Drop the Bomb goes back to maybe early Maiden with the short 3-minute songs like Running Wild.
I'm going to tell you something, Alan. My perspective on this album, I think this is a band that needs a few more albums to hit their peak and their that masterpiece album. Right. But I think they're well on their way. It's a good band. I hear a lot of the typical or the Maidens, the Iced Earths, the Halloween sounds in there. They're going to find their own way, and I think there's a lot of good things to come from this band. I enjoyed it. It's melodic. It's a nice production on it. I still would put it more like an 8 out of 10. I wouldn't say this is like a 9 or a 10 out of 10, but these guys are on their way. Watch out for these guys.
That's it. An up-and-comer, Bloodbound, 8 out of 10, Unholy Cross, go out and get it. Now, a new release from an older band.
Leppard Mirrorball. It's a live album.
And again, Jim, the Metal Voice is generic term.
Yes.
But we go everywhere from the pop-oriented sound of metal to maybe the darker sound of metal.
Or proggy.
Again.
And a lot of people are probably saying, hey, Metal Voice people, what are you putting this Def Leppard album on? Hey, this is not metal, this is pop. You know what? Def Leppard, they've traditionally been a hard rock album, a hard rock band in the past. I mean, side 1 would be more of the rockers from the Pyromania, maybe Hysteria days. Side 2 would be more the slow tracks, more their pop days. Side 3 is actually, it's not a CD, it's actually a DVD. You can see them on tour, behind the scenes, a couple of videos. And I got this for a price of, I don't know if it's still out there. It's $12 Canadian American. Euros is probably like $100, but I don't know. I don't know what it's in yen. I mean, from around the world, we have Walmart. It's a great deal. I mean, for that price, it's a good deal. It's nice to listen to Def Leppard live.
The sound when I hear live, I worry.
I worry too. And
what is it?
It's not bad. I mean, I would like to hear Joe Elliott more up front. I think the vocals are mixed down a little bit. Overall, maybe 8 out of 10. I would have liked to hear more of the older stuff on this album. However,
I think, look at the track list. I think they only go as far back as High and Dry.
That's right. And I mean, I would like to hear maybe like Rock Brigade on it, but it's not. It's okay. It's for the price that you're paying. It's a good deal.
And is this something, Jim? Is this like tape from their last tours, or spanned cut and paste over the last?
No, it's tape from what I'm reading. Is there are some bits and pieces here and there, but mostly from the last tour.
Okay, so there you have it. Jim recommends Def Leppard Mirrorball.
Yeah, it's a great package for the price you're getting. I wouldn't pay $50 American for this, but it's worth the value if you find it.
It's a value buy.
It's a value buy.
This week's metal debate, Jim. Your favorite Def Leppard album?
My favorite Def Leppard album. I would say it's a tough one for me because I'm caught between High and Dry and Pyromania.
Go with Pyromania.
I'll go with Pyromania because we're going to go with High and Dry. Pyromania, what a fantastic album. Mutt Lange, the producer. Pete Willis, who was actually the one who was playing on the album.
He wrote some of the songs.
Bring back Pete Willis, by the way, just as a side note there. Pyromania, from the start to end, I love the vocals. You got those AC/DC vocals, you got those harmonies, those sort of the Queen or Sweet harmonies on that album, and the arrangements are fantastic.
You know what's funny?
A little bit of keyboards here and there.
What's funny, Jim, you listen to country music now, they've all got that same vocals that you can go back and find on Pyromania.
Yeah.
That's Mutt Lange's sound.
And you know what they have on that album? Solos, guitar solos. I mean, you're getting guitar solos, great vocals, great harmonies. I mean, yeah, the lyrics are a little cheeseball. Okay, a little cheesy on the lyrics, but you know what? It's generic and it works.
And they started a whole new trend of bands starting to spend more time on the backing vocals and maybe in the studio.
Yeah.
So,
and how about you?
Good choice, but I got to go with High and Dry. I mean, that's a much harder rocking album.
Yeah.
It's you can see that they were influenced by AC/DC. They were opening band for AC/DC on the tour at the time. So you can see that influence. Pete Willis, I think, was the hard rock soul, whereas when Phil Collins came in, and there's nothing to hide, their influences, if you just look on their cover album, Yay, you can see they're always more into the glam, T-Rex side of things. So I think Pete Willis, when he left, they lost something. It still showed up, like you said, on Pyromania, because he still contributed to a lot of the songs, writing to the songs that were on there. But for me, High and Dry would be the album to go out. If I had to choose one Def Leppard album, that is definitely the one. So there you have it, another episode of The Metal Voice. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our website at www.themetalvoice.com
or themetalvoice@gmail.com if you want to send us maybe Alan a letter. Say, hey Alan, how you doing?
Yeah.
See you next time.
Okay.